and I'm a teacher's pet too. So at this time, I was just
I just got a compliment.
she likes my pants.
I
And
loved
that's
those pants.
your
I was like,
buds
hey,
ever
tell me
since.
about your pants.
I was so happy.
Hello, my friend. I'm Dana. This is Words That Move Me. This is my dog, Wrist Roll, and she's blocking my shoe. My shoe is a feature today. The look is looking, and the shoe is reflecting. It's a steel-toed demi heel. I'm not going to call it a princess heel, really. Come here, tiny one. You guys, you know what time it is? Dinner time, and she's feasting on my fingers. Tiny, no. Okay, here, play with that. Okay. Today is a really, really special episode. I'm talking to one of my dear friends, and I will say a selected sister, like chosen family in this creative life, the one and only Leslie Grace. And she and I became close working on In the Heights. We talk a lot about the process of that film, but on a bigger scale, I wish you could have seen her face just like, she looks so concerned. Okay. Leslie and I are talking about trusting yourself, trusting in teams, having permission and giving permission. It sounds a lot like a lot of things you've heard 1,000 times before. But another thing we talk about is how hearing the right thing at the right time can be life changing. And my friends, if you are a creative person working in the entertainment industry, chances are you need to hear one of the things that we are about to say. But before we say them, let's do some wins. Today, I am celebrating a not quite fall, an end of summer full of excellent music that I feel very close to. I got to see Paula at the Hollywood Bowl. I got to see Hozier at the Kia Forum, both with Jillian Myers. Imagine that. Hawk was at the bowl. Kat Burns came to the bowl. It was a good bowl. Well, should I just say bowl one more time? Popcorn bowl. There's a popcorn bowl right over there, just off camera. Anyways, the bowl was great. Hozier, sorry, I got sidetracked. Was fantastic. It's one of the best concerts I've ever seen, period, the end. I know. How about you? What's going well in your world? Congratulations, my friend. I'm so glad that you're winning. And I think I've got like 2 more minutes before this little demon on the floor right here rips my hand off. She's so hungry and so ready for dinner. But before I introduce you to Leslie Grace or remind you how much you really love her, I have to tell you to please check out her 2 latest projects, The Thicket and In the Summers. Both out now, have been out, like quickly catch up, because she and all of the projects that she is a part of are inspiring, are important, and she's simply so wonderful. I get it. Without any further ado, my friends, the one, the only, Leslie Grace Martinez. Yeah. That was a step touch and a shimmy. Question, do you prefer Leslie Martinez opposed to Leslie Grace? Or what's going on?
Leslie Grace Martinez, whatever you want to call me. I'm good.
Martinez Grace Leslie?
Right, all that. LG.
LG.
A lot of people just say LG when I'm
never fall onto my lap like that?
I'm
LG.
surprised. Yeah.
LG, that feels so good.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Life is good.
LG. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
I'm so happy to be here.
Life is good. Life is better.
Life is
when
good.
we are in conversation.
When we're together.
It's better when we're together. It is better together.
It is.
Thank you for making time and for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm like fanning right now because you know I listen, and I remember when you first started like telling me that you were going to do this.
Oh my God, that's right. You're there from the beginning.
Yeah, dude.
2019. End of 2019.
And I was like, this is going to be amazing because you're the best. I told you off camera, but I told you I was going to say it again. You're my favorite person to talk to about deep conversations too, like deep topics, because you ask the best questions. You're a curious person, and that's...
I'm a curious person.
Yeah.
Podcast.
That's something you have to be intentional about,
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Thank you for entertaining my deep questions. Not everybody likes to go there.
Yeah.
And that's fine too.
I love to go there.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, let's introduce ourselves to the deeper places by introducing yourself to us, period. You are a multi-type. You're a really talented person. So I'm curious to hear how you introduce yourself to listeners who may or may not be dancers, singer, actor, choreographers, but definitely creative types. I think this podcast attracts people who love learning and people who love to create. So what would you tell them about yourself?
What I would say about myself is, first and foremost, I'm a human who loves people.
Yeah.
I love people. I grew up in a big family. I'm the youngest of 7 siblings. Big blended family. Love my parents. Love my siblings. Learned a lot about the power and beauty of relationships and art within my family just by being like supported in doing that in my household. I'm Dominican, so music and art and all of that is just like
a given.
Yeah, a given in the household. It's not really explicitly like, you know, taught or anything, but storytelling,
it's in the air.
performance. It's just part of how we express ourselves. So I think that translates a lot into the way that I like to do my art now as an adult, and now that I get the gift of doing it professionally for a living. I sing, I act, I move when I get the chance. I do a little 2-step.
No, it's the best step. If you only have one step, let it be a 2-step.
Let it be a 2-step.
Let it be a 2-step.
Nail the 2-step.
P.S. You have way more than a 2-step, but we'll get into that later.
Well, you have a lot to do with that.
My absolute pleasure.
Yes. Yeah, and I just love, more than anything, I love the feeling of performing and being able to experience the gift and give the gift of being moved, you know, being moved by anything, whether it's words that move you or sounds that move you or a feeling that might move you. I think it's a gift to be able to experience that, and then it's kind of like contagious when you answer the call to share it.
Yeah.
So
to be moved in front of people is also a very vulnerable thing. I was just talking to somebody about like the feeling that you get when you perform. I understand why a lot of performers become drug addicts because
Facts.
there is it's
addictive.
In
Can be
my
addictive.
body, there are very few things that make me feel the way that being on stage in front of thousands of people screaming because they like it.
Yes.
Like, what else does that?
Sis.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
So it is that feeling. I don't even know what to call it, but it is
Yeah.
addictive, and it is special and magical, and a privilege to get to experience, especially when you're doing a thing that you love. So
Yeah, that expresses something about you that otherwise you wouldn't be able to, you know? There's also not many scenarios where like I think about this more as I continue to age. There's not a lot of things as an adult that allow you to like express abstractly things that are hard, you know, to people. So
how often do you do that? Are you in practice of like,
I'm trying.
hey, best
it's
friend,
scary.
I wrote you a song because I didn't know how to say blah, blah, blah. Do you do that?
Yeah, as of recently I've been getting more into the practice. I had to strip down in my music practice back to basics. I took a little pause and wanted to repair a little bit of my relationship with music.
Okay.
In a going back to basics way. And a lot of that ended up being me expressing really simple or really hard feelings just because I knew I needed to in order to repair, I needed to practice more consistently.
Yeah. So
less for like wanting to make a good song and more like for just expression's sake, because that's what I was repairing at the time.
Nice. Ooh, Leslie, that's important. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad to know that you're repairing and starting with a strong foundation or revisiting a foundation of music. That's very interesting. I want to talk about how we met and how you developed your strong foundation for acting. Because was In the Heights your first film?
First acting thing ever.
First acting thing ever.
Acting gig ever.
Can you tell me how that came to be? Because I think I know, but I don't know if you know.
First and foremost, just felt super, I always say this, but I felt super duper, duper, duper blessed and privileged that was my first, because your first can be, of all things, can be anything.
Yeah.
You know, and can be any kind of experience. And I have a firm belief that everything teaches you. So,
Yeah.
whether in the moment it's like a struggle or it's an incredible experience and you're like, I love this. Yeah, you get value from all of it. But luckily for me, that first experience was to date still one of the most beautiful experiences in my life, of not just work, just like in my life. Like,
Tops. It's tops. I'm working on the morning show off and on right now.
I love that show.
And Nelson Coates is on it. And
So good.
there's magic
that,
happening on set, right? I understand. There's a lot going on. But when he and I meet, there are fireworks. And the fireworks exist because of that shared art baby that we helped to raise. And I am so grateful for every single person.
Yeah.
Yourself
really
included. That's a bond that cannot be broken. That was a special one.
Yeah. And it was right before COVID. It was just like such a, you can't recreate that time. There was before and after for sure.
Are you guys out there getting FOMO? Do you feel left out? This is probably not the coolest way for us to engage in this conversation.
We're just
being like, oh my God, isn't
referencing-
our family and our project the best? And you can't get in
Sorry,
on it because
guys.
it's in the past.
Yes. Let's get to the information of how it happened.
The information of how it happened, number one, is good. But also, I think it's cool to aspire to be part of teams and projects that are one of a kind and one of a time.
Yeah.
But in a way, all of them are. None of this gets repeated. None of this will ever happen again.
It's
very that specific recipe of people and story and time and place that we are all a part of every day. Every single day.
Yeah.
So it's just so happens that one lasted, 2 months of pre-production, 3 months of
that whole
shooting.
summer.
And then because of the delay of COVID,
A
the
year and a
release was a year and a half later. So it felt like it lasted a long time.
And we bonded through all of those.
All of the ups and downs.
Yeah.
It definitely stands out to me as well.
The intention was always pure. There was always pure intention. And there was always like two things. You dance types always talk about push and pull and give and take, the big forces of life. And I think it's so important in a collaborative setting and creative settings to be open to that, like the ability to give and to receive. And I felt that from everyone, especially from my perspective of it being a first for me in a really new space, and the stakes for me being so high and like being nervous, but also in wonder and like, I knew I was going to say a bunch of stuff that probably sounded like a kid in Disneyland, but it was just like, you can't avoid that. You can't avoid
student being new when you're new. That's just what it is.
It's just what's going to happen. And I was also like in that place in my life where I did feel like Nina, like I was younger. And
it's
so
perfect casting.
But it was met with so much generosity of knowledge, so much patience, so much, and then also so much like, curiosity of like, hey, like, what are you experiencing right now? And like, how do you see this? And even though I, from John, for example, like in our read throughs, he was always curious about how we saw things, even though he's,
the director, the one with the vision wasn't too
right.
The person who's supposed to know the answers wasn't afraid to ask questions.
Boom.
Yes. I adore that about him. I also loved his willingness, sometimes almost blind trust, but his willingness to trust the people that he put into decision-making positions. I recall several times asking John, what do you think of this or that? And he'd say, what do you think? And I'd say that. And he'd say, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
And I'm like, that was fast.
Yeah.
And
you can't make every decision. I can imagine like.
No, the decision was putting us in the place to make the decisions. Boom. And that was just, I saw that happen a few times. And I only needed to see it a few times to be reminded of that power. It's such a flex.
Yeah, major flex.
I love that sort of leadership.
And
I
it
really
makes
love
everyone also feel autonomous and proud of the value they're bringing to this thing. And so you're more
invested in that.
Yeah, you walk with a little bit more integrity with the choices that you're making because someone, I don't want to say above you because he didn't make us feel that way at all, but like the person that you would naturally look to for an answer is like, no, you got it.
Right.
When they really feel like you got it.
Yes.
So, and if you really have a question, he's just like, yeah, look, I kind of see it like this.
Yeah.
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 So that was
riveting.
That was the culture on that set.
That was the
and
culture. That was the air
made
that we
everything
were
for me.
breathing. That was how days went. Even the tough ones, even the sticky ones, even like the scary ones.
Yeah,
That's how
'cause they were.
that was always there. Yeah.
You
I love. Oh my God. Could talk about it all day.
Yes,
I want
literally.
to talk specifically about your relationship to dance in that project.
Yes.
How much dance experience did you have coming into it?
Oh, well, with cultural dance, being Dominican, like salsa and merengue and like tropical dance, growing up, yes, and it is like a language that we speak that's instinctual, but never any training.
Yep. And never dialed into 8 counts.
Yeah, and never like mambo.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, we weren't dancing that kind of salsa. So, your girl was stressed. She was stressed, remember?
I remember.
was stressed. And I personally, I have this thing with tests and like time tests. Anything that is like, by this time, you're going to have it.
Turn it in, no matter what.
Even if I'm capable, it would make me, like, I would never
Choke up
finish
a
my
little bit.
time tests in school and all these things. And it's a mental thing. I'm a person, my tempo and pace is slower.
Yeah.
Like, I know that about myself now as an adult, and I've learned to make friends with that and understand why. But in that scenario where I know this prep time is going to end, you know what I mean?
This is our last day of rehearsal for the club.
Yeah.
And then we shoot it, and I either have it or I don't.
I was so frustrated because I'm like, I know I can get this. I know it. And it to the very last moment,
hard.
it was so hard. And I was very self-critical of myself at that time.
Correct.
Like, we all are in different ways. But like at that time, I was really, I know
Hard on
you know,
yourself.
because I trusted you a lot and you were really, again, curious as you always are. But I was very, very hard on myself and hard on not accepting that if you're a student at something, you're going to mess up. You know what I mean? I was very hard on myself with the dance like that.
Okay. So if time constraint made it hard for you, do you remember what, if anything, made those days easy?
I think our conversations while we rehearsed physically
Yeah.
helped.
Yep.
I
Just
think
being real humans and
real humans. Real humans helped.
Yeah.
The group element and seeing other people struggle and having permission to struggle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's just thing in life.
Having permission to look crazy
Yeah,
and be
to
a
look
mess
crazy.
and be finding it.
I remember we even did a like private session afterwards, after we finished shooting and everything. And I was at that time was really having a hard time with the idea of like, it not looking pretty when you're learning something or when you're doing something for the first time and all that. I had a really the perfectionistic,
Yes.
approach to like showing up. If I can't show up at my best, then I shouldn't show up at all.
Yeah, that one's
And if I
damaging.
can't do this, then I shouldn't. I'm disqualified already. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be in this room. And you had such a beautiful way of like speaking to that and like softening those boundaries by just saying like, let's do the most embarrassing thing right now, and I'm gonna make. And
Nice. Yes.
you know
I
what I mean?
remember this. Yeah. Let's start by the craziest you will ever look so that that's done. So that you know you're not like nothing.
Gonna look crazier.
Nothing for the rest of this hour and a half is going to look as bad as how we are starting. I have an exercise. I call it dead bug.
Yes, I remember that.
Which you just like pretend to be a cockroach on the ground dying. A terrible, maybe it's like by blowtorch or maybe it's by BB guns and you just are a cockroach dying. And there's nothing that you could do on your 2 legs that's going to look worse than that.
Yeah.
So
And
that,
even
that's
that
a
I
good
struggled with.
icebreaker.
Even that I really struggled with because
To give
for
yourself
someone
permission to go
get
there.
Yeah. So, but it softened my boundaries that someone would challenge me to that. You know what I mean? And be like, it's safe for you to be not right now. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
And so that kind of approach for me definitely stretched me and planted the seed in my mind of like, bro, you're gonna fuck up. Like,
Give yourself the time to mess up. Yeah. When you do, you make it much more quickly to the not being messing up anymore.
instead of resisting the mess
Yeah.
up, and then you just get stuck on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish that there was a class for that. Actually, there is. Jillian Myers, my best friend. she teaches a class
go,
called
Jillian.
Rhythmic Tendencies, which is designed with very clear musical, rhythmical prompts.
Okay.
It's like dance at this, that on this time, or clap at this time, but move on this time. Or I'm not doing a good job of
Like
explaining it.
polyrhythms, kind
Definitely
of? Okay.
polyrhythms are present.
Okay.
But she'll give a prompt to which there is no right answer. Like when we talk about an 8 count from the club scene of In the Heights, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it.
Right.
In Jillian's class, there is a prompt and no right way to do it. So you embark on this solo journey because there's no unison, or not no, but rarely is there unison clearly defined.
Yeah,
We do this on 1,
lines.
we do this on 2.
Right.
It's like, this is the
Jillian,
rhythm,
man.
clap on this time, snap on this time. And you get so much more like in conversation with ideas versus results.
Yes.
And being in process like that and knowing that failure will happen in there because especially on a first pass, like you're a very capable dancer. I'm a very capable dancer and we are failing up in there because
It's part of the
she
process.
designs it to be
To
really
be that.
challenging on
So
purpose.
great.
So yeah, I want to be normalizing not getting
You did
it.
such a great job at normalizing that.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I remember also that there was a thing that worked about Nina and you, which was a nervousness. And like, I remember a couple times like you asking, what do I do? What do I do with my hands?
My hands is always the guys. It's always the one.
Which
the
is great because I think she also
was in that
didn't
space.
know where to put it. I wish
Yeah.
these pants
She was
had
uncomfortable.
pockets. Which, P.S., we're going to talk about pants in just a sec. Special segment coming up.
Yep.
But I answered that question for you and for Nina
So good.
professionally with the same answer that I give myself when I'm nervous, which is touch something.
Touch things. Yeah.
When I'm nervous walking into an audition, which is kind of like an audition, but it's a supplemental audition. It's an audition. When I'm heading into like, something I care about,
Yeah.
you will see me, whether they need to be tied or not, I will bend over and tie my shoe.
Wow.
I will undo a shoe so that I can tie it up because having a task
good.
that I've done 1,000 times is familiar. I know these laces.
Certainty,
I'm looking at my foot
safety.
and I'm looking at the floor underneath my foot. Really helpful grounding. And I remember similarly to you, it was like touch your hair, touch your purse. What's in your purse?
Yeah.
Touch the fence. Do something that really puts you in the place and that.
It creates new thoughts too. It's like
Yes.
it steeps you in the moment,
Yeah.
like in your body.
The tactile
Literally.
puts you in the body. Effective. Good.
But that was another thing too, is that I think really helped that you did really well, like especially with Corey and I, because we spent a lot of time, the three of us, working together, which was so awesome. Like really encourage, like just use it all. Like what do you feel? What does this make you feel?
Yeah.
Okay, use that. You know what I mean? Oh, you're nervous right now? Use that. Bring it.
Oh,
Incorporate
especially
it.
in a relationship. It's gorgeous. Like
And I never
a
forgot
crush
that.
feeling, a nervous. I mean, who can't
Yeah,
relate to
who
that?
can't
It's so
relate to that?
relatable. And there's such a desire to get rid of that because we
Yeah.
want to.
Perform.
Yeah, we want
But
to
it's
perform.
the
We
opposite
wanna
of
be
what we're
untouchable.
supposed to do. Incorporate it all. It textures your performance. Now that I've, it was my first time, but now that I've learned
You've been working.
Yeah, we've been working. We've been doing the work and like, learning about craft and learning what it is really about to act. It's really about incorporating life, incorporating the atmosphere, incorporating what that sparks in you and not shutting it out. The more that you resist the things that are already there, they actually inhibit and put a wall in between what you're supposed to let flow through you. And the contradictions of what you think in your brain are supposed to be that moment and what you might be feeling in that moment from something that else that happened in your day or that doesn't have to do with your performance at that point in time or your character.
Yeah.
It might add a color that is just exactly what the unpredictability of what you want.
Yes.
For, what people want to see in that moment.
Yes.
So
yeah, trying to avoid those things or resist those we'll call them unwanted feelings, right? Like nervousness or fear of being judged or being imperfect. Like resisting those things blocks other things as well. It blocks potential. My acting teacher had a very good way of saying it. He said, whatever is knocking, let it in.
That's so good.
Or else it will go find Meryl Streep and she will let it in. And so that, for some reason, putting it that way made me feel like, oh, no. She's got plenty. I want. Come on in, anyone? Who's here?
Yeah.
Oh, listen to you. Oh, that's fun. That's new. That was not part of the plan, but let's go with it.
But let's go with that.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Do you improv? Do you have any training?
So this last year or two, my coach, who I've worked with over some years now, before even moving out here, it must be like 7+ years now. Tom Draper, shout out Tom Draper, he's the bomb.
Love you, Tom.
He's had these classes, group classes forever, and I never had the courage to do. To be honest, world, I never had the courage to join up. We always did privates, but I never had the courage until a couple gigs in to do a like group class. And he kept inviting me. He's like, I really think that you would really take a lot from this class that I have. There's a couple classes during the week. I joined in on a Chekhov technique class that wasn't an improv class, but everything that you learned from the class would be practiced in improv scenarios. And that was the first time that I went straight into singing from high school. So I never did like acting school or anything like that, or college or anything, just acting in high school.
Yeah.
And so the group element was really cool, but also learning the value of being in the moment in any space.
Yeah.
And getting a circumstance in that moment and, applying that, letting that affect you in the moment with another person. It's just like, it's a muscle that you don't learn in any other way.
Yeah. I'm going to say something very obvious, but it's coming to me for the first time because maybe I have a simple mind and maybe that's a strength. But what I'm learning, or what I'm realizing about improv, is that a group improv, when you see other people support your yes, it's so much easier to go. And when you're alone, you can doubt your choice.
That
you
feedback.
Be like, was that the funniest thing? But if I do a thing and the whole group's like, yes, that thing, then you're like, okay. It's kind of like what we were talking about with John, where if he says yes to your idea, the idea goes and you back it up. And when you're acting alone or improvising a scene by yourself and you don't have that group
feedback loop.
Yes, it can be maybe a little bit
harder to trust. Yeah, it really helps. I think you just put words to like the biggest value that I learned from class, along with creative, surrounding yourself with a creative community and like really feeling empowered by that and supported and feeling like you can support other people in their own craft journey.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things was like I learned. I knew I was always like a person that needed feedback. Like I invite notes. I'm big on like tell me. I needed that. And less for it's validation for validation's sake, but also for like I want the information. Like
and
if
you love doing work.
Wrong, yeah, I love working.
You love a note, and you're quick to take a note. You're very good. You take a note.
Thank you. I received that from you. Thank you very much. You get very good notes. But I really love. Like, I love that. I love that collaborative aspect of receiving information that I don't know, that I'm not aware of. And like, that's helped to me in what I want to do in my job. But aside from that in class, I think also the element of like learning if your instincts are on, we all need an audience to at the end of the day, the performance is to make someone outside of yourself or many ones outside of yourself feel something that you're feeling here and you want it to land in a place. So
you have to know if that's effective.
Yes.
Like, hey, what I'm trying to do is blah. Is that what's happening?
Is that, yes.
If not, how can we fix it?
Or did it make you feel, or like, you know what I mean? Okay, like that's not what I was going for, but that's cool too. I didn't know, okay, maybe my approach. So it teaches you a lot about what your instincts, what are the results of your instinct of saying yes to your instincts to, and then trusting them.
Yeah. That type of refining of like getting good at, okay, what I think is going to happen is this. Check in with you. What do you think it happened? Oh, that happened? I wasn't even planning on, but that's great. Okay, I'm going to try to recreate that. It's that muscle that gets so strong in that environment.
Yes.
So strong.
I have a question for you. Does that happen? Do you feel like that happens in a similar or different way in class, in dance class with dance types?
Yes, absolutely. I have had, not always, but most of the time that I dance, I have a desired result. I either want to feel a certain way myself or evoke a certain feeling from someone else. And it happens less often now, regretfully, because I have stopped getting notes. The older you get and the more you ascend into positions of leadership, people tell you that they love whatever you just did. Notes are less common now. It's a strange thing
and
to say.
variety of those notes.
Yes, but I will ask if I'm in class, hey, I was really going for in the moment, visceral, had a plan, ditched it. Did I look spontaneous? Did I look too noodly because I was really focusing on being super loose? So I will absolutely
ask.
That's
so interesting, the point that you just made
what's that?
earlier of just like as you ascend and get good at in a lot of ways at your craft and our places of leadership, that circle of that feedback loop gets smaller as you ascend, and then also the opposite happens. It's like you start to trust it less because it's like some people will say based off of where I'm at, like even if it didn't evoke what I was trying to evoke.
Totally.
And so can I trust this note? Can I take that in? And we all have the need to receive real
criticisms, real feedback,
constructive criticism. Like we all long for that and want feedback because we all long to grow.
Yes.
Continue to grow. It doesn't matter wherever you're at in the journey.
Yeah.
At different levels, everyone's just like, I've really you could just get stuck in your own echo chamber
really
of your
could.
style, and
you really could. Which is it's not the worst thing that could happen, right? Because I think most of us are our own hardest critic. Like I don't need a whole lot of other people to be hard on me. I'm doing a great job myself. But this conversation is a great reminder that you, anyone at any level, could be empowered to ask for feedback from anyone. And I do think there's something interesting to asking people who, in your view, have already done it and been there and have ascended to heights that you only dream of, but also asking a layperson who knows absolutely nothing. Hey, friend. What do you think about this? How does this make you feel? Yeah. What an interesting litmus test.
Yes. Litmus test. Yes. That's right.
Okay, love that. I love thinking about receiving notes.
I do that with tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll send them to my mom.
Nice.
I'll send them to my cousin. Also knowing what to think of notes from who, depending on who you get what notes from.
Right. Do you have a process for filtration? Or does it just kind of happen where you think, okay, I'm going to take that for a grain of salt, but I'm going to really care about that?
Exactly.
How does that work for you?
I do. For example, one of my good friends who's also a director, he said something that stuck with me and I was just like, oh, so great. He was like, if you ever show a song to the friend that likes like every one of their favorite songs is a top 40 song, and then you show that same song to a friend that's like an elitist or like just like listens to basically instrumentals all day long, you have to gauge, where that note is that note is coming from that person, and like put it on a scale depending on what you intended for that piece of art that you're sharing with them.
Right.
So if the song is a top 40 song and top 40 song friend loves it, it's like, all right, that was
I love
hitting
that.
exactly where it's supposed to hit.
Yes.
If the lo-fi beat listening to friend hates it, it's like, you were probably gonna hate it.
Both useful feedback.
Yeah, both useful feedback. If both love, wow, that's a bonus. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But like taking the full context of notes too, based off of where someone might be coming from and their exposure to the kinds of things that you're sharing.
As I'm saying these things out loud, I'm like, when was the last time I asked for feedback on a piece? It was probably the last Seaweed Sisters work, where we have a practice also of like sharing internally first, knowing that I mean, because we shoot on such a tight budget,
Yeah.
there's no like, once we have an edit, it's
done.
It's pretty locked. I mean, we can nudge
Right.
things forward or back.
It's
but
really just
not-
for you to know,
It's really
kind
just
of.
for us to know. But I so value those exchanges. And we always learn so much from them. But it's not part of my all the time practice to be
yeah.
asking for feedback.
Yeah. I don't always ask for feedback either, but
Because sometimes
yeah, sometimes you just feel it and it's just like, I don't want to hear anything about this. This is what it is, and that's it. You know?
Shall we sidestep and talk about pants for a second?
Oh my God.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants right now. How was it discovered that we both have an affinity for like a
I was hoping you'd ask this
a
question.
statement pant? Do you remember? How did it happen?
So I'll just go right over to the pants.
Go to the pants pouch. Let's pull it out.
Let's
I
go to
love
the pants
alliteration.
tote. So the first pair of pants is what started it all. And you will be, audience, they're a little wrinkled. I'm very sorry.
Are they Nikes?
I just grabbed them all.
They're your rehearsal
Damn,
pants?
you remember.
I remember.
And they include the green
Yeah.
that you're wearing
Yes,
right now.
that's true. They do. What?
You know what it is. And
Oh my
this
God.
is hitting a very important fundamental for a good pant.
Pockets.
Pockets.
Essential. My
Pockets,
God,
guys.
those are good.
I haven't worn them maybe 4 times since that summer.
Whoa.
And every time I wear them, I think of you.
Pants.
It was what started it.
That's why pants have to have pockets.
Yes.
To put the memories in.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
all in
these
there.
are
there's probably
in the
something in
Heights
here from that
rehearsal
summer. Let's
pants.
see.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
maybe
If
it's
there
not-
was a treasure in the pocket, what a bonus!
That would be amazing.
Shut up! Is that
No,
underwear?
undies. Definitely. Definitely a bear cow.
Prepared.
Always prepared. Always.
You've always,
look. If you have this
especially
many,
if they're your rehearsal pants, you need to be.
you know they
bringing your
were,
change of
and there were
underwear.
multiple layers. You know what it was.
I do. That is riveting. God, Leslie, you
anyways.
are the best for that.
Yeah, so
Should we
these started it all. Dana came over to me. I remember feeling so cool.
Yeah.
Because I love Dana, and I'm a teacher's pet too. So at this time, I was
You were
just
like,
like,
I just got a compliment.
she likes my pants. I was so happy.
Especially rehearsal stuff, I've got ideas about t-shirts. I'm very particular about t-shirts.
Yeah.
But pants are like first. I was just talking to my dear friend. Do you know, did you ever meet Andy Blankenbuehler?
I don't think so.
He choreographed the first In the Heights, the Broadway In the Heights. And I think he did the off Broadway. I think he was in that mix from the beginning.
he was in the mix.
Choreographed Hamilton as well. Brilliant choreographer. I just had breakfast with him a couple days ago because we've known each other for a very long time. I don't remember what got us on the subject, and he was like, "Oh, this is my third costume of the day," and I was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "No, I needed to look grown up right now. In rehearsal, sometimes I need to look youthful and like a
Right.
kid, but it's my grown up couple block of time.
Right.
It's like a brunch and a meeting, and I have to meet with my writing partner." And he was like, "So I wore blue, and it's a button up. It makes me look light or
Yes.
feel light and look professional." And I was like, "It does."
It really is giving.
He is in so many places.
Also, dance times are so great at the shift of like throughout the day. Exactly what
Daytime,
you're saying.
nighttime.
Yes, it's like I need the fit that's gonna
Fresh,
give.
gritty. Like, what is the feeling that I'm going for? And also, what are the moves I'm going to be dancing? Do I need
What
a low
type of class
crotch?
am I going
Does it
to?
need to be a high crotch? Does there have to be a gusset?
Yeah.
Does it stretch? Is it too tight
Yeah.
here? Is it going to fall off? What
Right.
underwear do I need to wear with these pants? Is very important
is
as
that gonna
well.
impede my movement?
It's very important, this question. Okay, so now I
great.
know where I'm going for my
And
first
silhouette too. Am I gonna give the shape?
What's
The shapes need a shape. Give it to me. Give it to me.
This is a gig
Yes.
pant.
Yes.
This is
Do the buttons?
do the buttons. So oddly enough, both of my Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants today have mad buttons on them. It's not a requirement
great.
for me that we have to have buttons.
But they just happen to.
Both of these do happen to have buttons. They don't go all the way up, but I think maybe they used to. So here's the story. These are my Super Bowl pants. I wore these for the JT Super Bowl halftime show. 2017?
Legendary.
2017?
Low-key
2018?
legendary.
I don't remember. But so they're special because it's rare that you get to keep those jams. You
Yeah.
know this when
Yeah, I
you do
know.
big TV stuff or big artist stuff. 2018, thank you. Fact checker.
That was quick.
She's so quick.
It's fast.
I saw these on a hanger and I was like, me, let's fuck up the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And then it wound up going and the
it was
outfit
perfect.
was fresh.
you.
Have you ever had to wear something that you really didn't like, that you really hated?
Oh, a number of times for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Most times what you're wearing is also dependent upon what the budget is and, you know, how much time.
Yep.
Some things that are out of everybody's control. So you just kind of like got to make it work.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it is you. So you want to look right. But
what gets you
sometimes you gotta
through
work.
those moments? Is there something that you...
I just say like it's out of your, it really is out of your control at a certain point. So make the best.
And focus on what you can
And
control.
yes, exactly. Like now you know that you're going to be wearing this. Explain all the things that make this hard for you. If nothing can be done, you know, at that point, then you just focus on what your job is that you can control.
Yep.
You know, and then
It's a good redirection of energy because you can ruminate on like how
It's the
bad this
focus.
is and this is awful. Or you can focus on like, okay, here's what I can control. I don't love the way that this shirt makes my arms feel.
Yeah.
But I can direct your eye towards my feet because these shoes are fresh and I know my footwork is clean. Okay, so I was going to do this upper body thing on this accent and now I'm going to make it a little bit more about feet. Like,
that's a big note too. It's like sometimes what you're wearing informs how you move.
All times.
all the
All
time.
times. It's
but
such
like
a big deal.
It could also like in a positive way. Like
Give
you
you a
might
new
feel
path.
uncomfortable with something, but that discomfort, if you can use it, find a way that it makes your performance better. You know?
like I really wanted to wear these pants, but if I had ended up in a skirt, you better believe I would have been propping,
that.
making that a prop. Wardrobe is kind of prop for dance types. It's
especially,
it's what we work with. It's our tools. Yeah, my ex used to say this all the time because I have apologized for my closet before. It overfloweth.
Yeah.
And I had never criticized him for having too many tools,
Right.
like hammers and screwdrivers and
Right.
laser cutters and things. And he never criticizes me for having too many shoes or
go.
pants.
There you go, because those are your tools.
They're my
girl.
tools. This is how I get the job done.
That's exactly right. I love that. Love that. Oh, perspective shift. Okay, next pair of pants. These are very much a staple, very much a fave. If you are friends with me or know me,
We've seen these in
you've
action.
seen these.
Wow,
And
wow,
if
wow,
I
wow,
could
wow.
wear them, these are a low rise
Yeah, you found
jean
one.
that
Yep.
are like baggy enough, depending on
Ooh,
you know
yep.
where I'm at in
Yep.
my life, how much I'm eating.
Yep.
But they always work.
Shit,
they
those are
always
great.
give.
Those are great.
And they got the pockets, and they got the style, but I have to gauge how much I use them because you know they're very specific.
They're a statement piece, and you
So,
can't wear a statement piece every day.
Every day, I wish.
Well, actually, it's funny. I have a favorite Nickelodeon shirt that all of you have probably seen because
Yeah.
I wear it all the time.
I think I know what shirt you're talking about.
It's a blue tie-dye shirt. It's got like all mad Nickelodeon characters on it. And it's so funny that as kids, we never thought twice about the fact that they all wear the same outfit every day. Like
didn't.
everyone from Hey Arnold,
Yeah.
Helga is wearing that pink
had their
dress.
uniform.
That's their uniform, and it wasn't weird. But
we loved it.
But repeating an outfit at school was like this no thing.
We're gonna die.
Like actually, I changed shirts today because I was like, Riley, did I wear this on the podcast already? And she's like, Yeah, let's smash.
Yeah,
You gotta
we
take it off.
still.
It's so funny.
What's up with that?
This is another great permission that I was given recently. A long time ago, I did a video a day on Instagram. This idea of newness and small bites and like just make a thing all the
Yeah.
time.
I think I remember this.
Somebody had to give me permission to say, you can like do one idea 27 times. And I was like, wait, say more. And he was like, well, for example, John Baldessari, famous artist, did dots for a long time. It's just dots on
Yeah,
faces.
a whole era.
Dots on dots forever. That was the big idea, was dots. And meanwhile, I'm like knocking
Yeah,
myself out
trying
to
to
find
come up with more
a new
ideas.
idea. Just, it's okay to do one idea.
It's okay to refine.
Deeply. It's okay to do one pair of pants
Go to
and
town.
love them deeply, which we are doing. Okay,
Yes,
good.
we.
It's funny also the order in which we are.
We're going?
and the style. That's funny.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
here
had
we
a
go.
feeling you would. Yes.
Oh, did I just kick my dog? Weird.
You kicked my dog.
You know the Jerky Boys? How do you know the Jerky Boys? I thought you would be too young for that for
Classic.
sure.
No, definitely not. That was.
You kicked
Come
my
on,
dog
you
and
kicked
now
my
he
dog.
needs operation. It's inappropriate.
Yeah,
and
but
very
but
funny.
it's so
There
good.
was a
We all
time.
come on now. Y'all know this video. Don't come for us. Y'all know this video and it was great. It brought us all joy.
Okay, so these pants
Oh,
are
I see the buttons. I see this.
very low rise, very big, but a cinched ankle, which
Yes.
is interesting. They,
Different silhouette.
Okay, it's also button fly, which is love it or hate it. It is what it is. I have replaced buttons. Actually, let's count the number. So I've got these on my first tour in London. So that puts us at like 2007.
So good.
It's now 2024 and I still wear these bad boys. I love them. They're like paper thin now, which is my favorite.
Yeah, they're worn. They're
Don't
good
even
jeans.
know the brand. I've never thought to look.
Yeah, same for me with pants.
Boyongaro Trevor. Boyongaro Trevor.
Okay.
Don't know. Cool. Stitching. We love it.
dope.
We're here for it. But let's count the number of buttons I have replaced. 1, 2,
Overtime.
3,
To salvage them.
4, 5. 5 buttons.
Worth it.
So many lives.
Yeah.
And I get so many compliments because they're kind of unusual.
Yeah.
These buttons
one of one type
do
of
come undone.
This is
so
giving
we
a
can be
super
serving a
2000
whole
jean.
lot of inner thigh if we should choose.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
What's the point of that for someone such as myself?
I don't know.
We don't know.
For
Another
someone such as myself.
we don't know, but it's an option, and a girl's got to have options.
Yes.
Also,
You
I
might
want
want
to
to
point
wear
out
like a legging or some kind of
a splash of color.
underneath.
I might want
I'm
to.
with that. Exactly. A layer.
You know,
I'm
these
with
are
that.
way too large to be going under this. But an option to layer is so important.
Yes.
Also, as we addressed before, pockets critical. Zipper
Zip
pockets.
Over.
Because I have important things.
Yeah, they're
Not
not
only do
going
I
anywhere.
have things, I have important things,
Passport.
and I move.
Yes.
I go upside down sometimes. I don't like being upside down,
But you
I,
do sometimes.
I occasionally, when we were building that
Yes.
fucking.
Dude,
Is the last thing that we shot when the sun.
when the sun goes down.
Why did I want to say comes up? It's like when the sun comes. That's not right.
Because the
when
sun came up by the time we finished.
That's exactly right. It was a late day.
Yes, it was late.
Oh my God.
We had
but
like
yeah,
a
we were
day and a
upside
half to
down. We
do
were
that?
sideways. Not enough time. But yet we did it. We pulled
did
it
that
off.
shit.
We did it.
Talk about time crunch. And we did that. This is one of the things I was
That was
most proud
such a
of all
stunt.
of us.
Talk about having a big appetite and getting it done with trust and with patience and kindness. That really felt like an Everest of a scene. And we started working on that scene early. Like it was one of the first things that
pieces
we
you guys
did
started,
and the
right?
last things that we shot. So we got a lot of R&D.
Yeah, you guys started with like a table, like a
Oh
platform.
my God. I will add a picture of this
I
because
remember
we
Emilio
had
doing that
tables
back
on their
then.
sides, ladders flat on the floor, chairs on their backs.
Crazy.
We're just like pretending to
Yeah.
be upright.
Yes,
but
on a
we're
fire
laying,
escape.
but we're laying a horizontal.
Most rewarding
Really crying hard in the
think
theater for that one.
piece for me in my experience, for sure.
Was
just
it?
like,
More
you
so
know.
than the club?
that was pretty good too. But you know what? I think it was because, like, you know, we all had to pull through in that moment, but it was really on performance-wise on Corey and I for that moment. And
You're
we
right.
had been
You're right.
anticipating,
All the
like,
focus.
we don't know. We spent a lot of time on the club, all these big numbers
right.
with everyone, but like that one was.
When we didn't have the moving
apparatus,
piece
yeah.
until like the day
week.
before.
Yeah.
Woof. Yeah. So we had mock-ups in a studio. It was on our brains. We were like noodling with it, but actually being in practice with the thing very short amount of time.
And the music, that like instrumental part where we're
Yeah.
doing all of those leapings and things. And it was one of those ones that you couldn't choreograph fully until we had the piece.
we had the wall. We had to
had
know
the
how long
wall.
it took to do the things.
get
chicken or egg.
physically,
That was a
logistically.
really chicken egg piece. Like we can't do that until we have this.
Yes.
And we can't do that until we have this. And
Yeah.
you know, like, oh man, that was a
No,
lot.
shout out to y'all. For real. Shout out to us. We did it.
We did it. We did it. Are you ready to do our final segment, or do you have one more pants
I have
pair?
one more pant.
Let's bring it. Bring it.
Well, these are special for me because they're actually talking about 2000s
Yes,
pants that
yes.
stand the test of time, and you want to
These
preserve.
pants
with
are
the
friends with
zipper,
those pants.
the zipper.
These pants are
I
in the
didn't
same
even think
music
about that.
video as those pants.
Dude,
Yo,
y'all see why you see
you
the
see, you
connection,
understand
right?
now?
We're speaking through telepathy.
There have
honestly,
been.
We
I
didn't
have
plan this.
posted comments on your work on Instagram where the only word I say is pants.
Pants.
You're like
Literally.
it's looks and it's this that and it's your work and I'm
she's
just
like,
like oh,
pants.
pants,
Pants.
pants.
This
So,
is us.
yes, we align there.
And I live for it every time.
Where did these come from? Are they project
So
pants? Are they
check-
personal
check.
pants?
Yeah, they're project pants, but they're not my project pants. So my older sister, Anexi, shout out to Next, love you sis, who you got to meet. She came
To set.
that exact shoot day.
Yep.
She used to model, and you know, she's my co-older sister, so I would want to take all her
Always.
stuff. But I was, too young to wear it at that time. But I remember this was one of the keeps,
The
that
coveted items that you really like.
This and another skirt that's like camo, but it was like green and gray camo, and I still have that.
Yes.
But these pants, let me tell you,
Tell me.
the moment that something happens to them, I'm gonna try and preserve them as best I can.
Yes,
But
yes.
I've been wearing them for since I was 16 now, 29.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but I
they're
think
worn.
one button has.
Those
She
pants-
probably doesn't even remember that I have these pants.
Those pants are worn.
They're so good. I would definitely try to replace the one button that's gone. It's somewhere over here. But they're just so good. They're just so good, and I'm very grateful for them. Shout out to
And
my
they're
sis.
a hand-me-down. That's
And they're a
amazing.
hand-me-down. Yes. They're very comfy. They fit just right. They're one of the tighter pants that I would wear and feel comfortable in to move.
It's got to be a specific fit.
Lots of nights out dancing.
Nice,
in these
my
pants.
friend.
Yes.
We're going to head into wrist roll with it. Our rapid fire burnout round. Are you ready
Yes.
for this, Leslie?
I suck at these, but I'm ready.
You're going to be great.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Dogs or
Damn.
cats?
See, both. I do both every day.
But
Sorry.
coffee was the
Coffee
one.
was-
That was
yeah,
it. That was
yeah.
it. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
If you could sing like anyone in the world, who would it be?
Whitney.
Same.
Yeah.
What's the last song you belted?
Ooh. What was the last song I belted? Dang. Probably Whitney, Greatest Love of All. Classic.
So good. It's so good.
All right.
Favorite move?
Favorite move? The two-step.
Done. Least favorite move?
Ooh, least favorite move. I like it when you ask people this. I've been seeing the series.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't have a least favorite move. I don't know.
Was there one
least
from?
favorite move
Was there
is when
one from
someone
In the
random
Heights that
comes
was really
up
hard?
to you.
Whoa!
Assault is my least favorite move.
I hate that move. I hate that move.
That's intense,
I
but
hate
yes.
that move.
Yeah. Don't come up on somebody that doesn't know you coming up on them unless it's invited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're very much
At the
about
club.
consent.
Yeah.
I'm approaching.
Yeah.
I'm approaching with dance. Dance is coming, and dance has arrived.
And
Are we?
Are we saying yes?
Can we? Excellent.
Great.
What is your animal likeness? What would you say
what do you
is
mean?
like an animal
that I'm like?
Yeah.
I get giraffe a lot.
You do have a really long neck
Yeah,
and kind of
I
a
get that.
peaceful walk.
Yeah, I have a friend that calls me Lil Fawn too, because my limbs clumsy little situation like that. Yes.
like Bambi, like baby Bambi.
Yes, that's
But a
just
giraffe?
clumsiness.
I see it.
Similar.
I see it. What do you think is the best sound?
The best sound. People's laughs. I love people's laughs.
Is there one that stands out to you right now? Like
My
somebody who's got
sister
a really
Cakes.
good laugh. Good laugh.
She has a great laugh. Yeah.
Nice. What is like a favorite smell?
You always smell really nice, Dana. We talk about this too. Do
you wanna know
Scent
why?
buddies.
Because are you wearing it right now?
I'm wearing it right now. It's never changing.
Another 13.
Another 13.
Le Labo. I
That's a
also am
fact.
wearing it right now.
Yes.
But for a while I was on this
'Cause we're-
Aesop roll-on
I know you told me, and it's so
called
good too.
Marrakesh. It's insane.
I low-key
it's
almost-
so good. It's
yeah.
really insane. Good. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Taste buds. We're taste buds.
Yes.
Really hypothetical, but try to put yourself there. Really only allowed to listen to one album for the rest of the time.
Oh,
I am
come
sorry to
on,
do that to you, but
bro.
what is it?
Forever? Forever? Yeah. Lovers Rock. Jade. Yeah. I think
See,
that would be it.
and when you say that, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could have any superhero ability, what do you think it would be?
Dang.
I know.
Ooh. Speed. Teleportation.
Yeah.
Teleportation.
You travel a lot.
Yeah.
It would just be nice
It
if
would
that could
just
just be
be-
right done.
Yeah.
What is your actual superhero power?
Ooh.
Like, what is something you're like really good at?
I feel a lot of people in my life have told me that I have the gift of exhortation, like motivating, encouraging people.
Yes.
I get joy from that. Sometimes I have to, as an adult, I've learned to observe this about myself. It's like when I'm getting too excited, I start to interrupt people because I just want to say how much I get them. And it's just like, I don't let people finish thoughts.
Listening
And
to
I think-
myself on the podcast is murder. I just did it to you. I can't because I'm always
No, but it's just, but if you're speaking the same language, it's, you know what I mean? That's why we're able to do
yes,
this.
I definitely do that.
And we see it in each other. But dude, yeah.
Okay, but
It
you're
was
an
something I wasn't
encourager.
aware
You're a
of
coach. You're a
before.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
And you do
I
it
love
in
cheering
a
people on. I love cheering people on.
yeah. It's the yes and it's the improv team.
Yeah.
Because I think we are very good at cheering on others and less good at cheering on ourselves. So putting ourselves in places where we can be better supported is probably advantageous for us.
Yes.
Let's do more of that.
Let's do more of that.
Okay.
I accept that invitation.
Okay. Words That Move Me is the podcast. I'm looking to you for a quote or actual words, a guiding principle, a mantra, something that moves you.
I got the one, and it gets deeper the older I get, and
Okay.
it works better. I just
Okay.
had a crying session because I got it from another life lesson recently, even deeper than I've gotten it before, which I didn't think that
Was
I could.
even possible, but here you are.
But that's the case with a lot of these things that we know, and then we
Keep
learn.
relearning.
Yeah, it's like an onion layer. Grace is sufficient. Grace is sufficient.
Talk about simple
Yeah.
and effective.
Yeah, it's, you know.
Grace.
Yeah, your grace is sufficient. I like, I'm a believer of being be honest. So it's the word. It's like your grace is sufficient. But I am learning as an adult more and more, and it's connected to all the things that we've already talked about, especially self-criticism. If you're not able to like receive grace to the degree where it's like there is a limit where you just are not going to get something. That's the thing about not getting, not meeting the mark. It's like you might not even be aware of what you're not getting in life.
And that
and somehow we're still here, so, but if you can't go inward in some space and give that to yourself or receive that from a greater source, then it makes it really hard to give that to other people, especially when they're not aware that they're missing the mark, which is usually the case.
You know, it's hysterical.
What?
As you were just saying, like right before you said missing the mark, I was closing my eyes and trying to tap my finger to my nose and I missed the mark. You're going to see it. It's there. I looked slightly off the tip of my nose because I had my eyes. Yo, that was so funny.
That's deep.
I'm sorry, but yes.
Yes, we all miss them. We're all susceptible to missing the mark.
That's the theme. That's the theme of this episode and what to do, how to continue when that has
how
happened.
To accept that, how to wrestle with, okay, I am missing the mark,
With grace.
Literally with grace. And then
that's enough for right now, for this moment. Grace is it. That's the bar.
And it allows you to move, knowing that allows you to move forward to where you do hit the mark.
Yes, my friend.
Most of the time.
Ooh, thank you for that. Thank you. And thank you for accepting this invitation. This has been a treat and a treasure. Could talk to you forever.
Literally
we'll
ever.
do our next one over meal.
Yes, we will. At Bakari or Bakari.
Or Baccarai or
Right.
Bakari.
Bakari, right.
Well, I don't know,
You
but
know-
it's still
you know what
you
we're
know
talking
who you are. They're so great. They're actually, I was talking about them with a friend the other day.
So good.
Really personable, great menu.
Yes,
We
great
love
service,
it.
great food,
service.
great ambiance, great drinks.
Drinks.
That watermelon drink they got. Look,
The
sponsor us.
The Baccarita. Let's talk about it.
Baccarita's
Actually,
so good
so
with
I'm
the
trying new
tahini.
segments on the show.
Yeah.
Pants is great. We could do like a flight from Baccarat, like do a tapas review. We do a tasting. Yeah. Oh, it's great. Be sure to tune back
take it
in
on the
later.
road, y'all.
We're touring with the podcast and it's a food podcast
Words
now.
that move
and
us.
fashion. Words and flavors and looks that move us.
So we got moved. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends, for listening, watching. Be sure to click subscribe, like, leave a review, leave a rating, and watch the playlist all the way through. 220 plus episodes, and we are in our very early days of being monetizable on YouTube. So every hour helps. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Keep it
Thank
funky,
you.
everybody. Yeah, let's go. This podcast was produced by me with the help of many. Big love to our executive assistant and editor, Riley Higgins. Our communications manager is Ori Valladares. Our music is by Max Winnie. Logo and brand design by Bree Reitz. Thumbnails and marketing by Fiona Small. You can make your tax-deductible donations to Words That Move Me, thanks to our fiscal sponsor, the Dance Resource Center. And also, many thanks to you. I'm so glad you're here, and if you're digging the pod, please share it. leave a review and rating. And if you want to coach with me and the many marvelous members of the Words That Move Me community, visit wordsthatmoveme.com. If you're simply curious to know more about me and the work I do outside of this podcast, visit thedanawilson.com.